All right, let's talk about locations. Getting your first location is, I think, always the most difficult part. There's a lot of questions. When I talk to a lot of the new guys, they're always like, where? And that is obviously the biggest struggle. So a couple different options. If you have money, well, it becomes a lot easier. If you have like X amount of dollars to invest, and that's going to be different based upon what you're looking to do. So I don't want to even put a number value on that. Lightly, I think it should be, at least a base layer 10K. I'll put a number on it. Fine, 10K. I think you should have right now in this day and age that maybe start a smaller location. I don't think that's a route that a lot of people should be going in the beginning. If you're like, okay, that's what I want to do, and you're still working your other job to kind of, like you said before, kind of supplement things, that's fine. But I think right now it's like kind of like what happened with you at gymnastics school and happened with me with Shihan Fujiwara, is that you looking to share space with another location,
right,
and get going on a very small level. And there are tons of locations like that out there. You know what I mean? Martial arts schools, CrossFit gyms, any other type of strength training facility, dance schools, gymnastics places, yoga centers, YMCA, community centers. The options are really endless, and it goes into like doing a search on Google for just anything you can think of, and just creating a notes list. At least for me, that's what I do. If I'm, anything I'm researching something, I create a notes list, a hit list of things I want to check out. And then it's again, you start making some calls, you start making some connections. Maybe it's someone you already know. Maybe your uncle knows a guy who knows a guy, whatever, who has a connection somewhere, and you're like, kind of putting the feelers out there. And I think that's kind of a big step.
Any place like that has downtime, you really just need an hour to start.
Yep.
If you can,
once a week,
if you can go more, hour and a half. A lot of those places will have a cheap rent. They're just looking for a couple bucks, and you can, you'd be able to do that. And
some people I know like who can make those arrangements. Like, okay, I'll give you 50% of all the student revenue that comes in. You know what I mean? But so you could do it that way, but say, hey guys, we're paying for this training space. You can pay for yourself. You can pay the rent itself, or if you want to start charging you guys a little bit in the beginning, in the beginning, I did a little bit of free. And then I started charging, I was like, it's like $30 or $40 a month, just to kind of pay a little bit for the rent. And then I was like $60, and then it's gone to now $135 starting. But
I think some of that too is difficult. It depends. If you're doing the tri-tack on arms, well, then you don't need mats. You could do that. You could certainly get by on hardwood floor. If you're doing jiu-jitsu or the BJJ, then you got to have some kind of mat.
We did a 1-inch karate mat.
If you haven't done, if you need information, you can contact us. We can talk to you about the best mats to buy for if you're going to be planning on doing the jiu-jitsu and you're taking falls because you want to be able to get up and go to work the next morning.
Right. We used to do on a 1-inch karate mats on concrete at Shihan Fujiwara's, and the falls there were just fucking horrible.
You can't. You got to have a certain mat. So that requires a little bit of investment, but there's good mats. Some are square, and the tatamis are rectangular that you can stack up. There's some other companies that have really nice rollout mats. Which is a breeze. You roll them out, you roll them right back up.
If you do the tri-tack and arm, you really just need like a crash pad at most, but not even that. You know what I mean? You could do a lot of that on the ground. Tri-tack jiu-jitsu is absolutely that's what you really need to get. Or doing jiu-jitsu. But if you're looking for martial arts school, you're looking for a place that has that already.
Yeah, you already have martial arts school, absolutely.
But that's if you're doing jiu-jitsu, that's what I would recommend. That you're looking for another martial arts school, or that you have like it's like a rollaway mat or something that's you could put in a corner that is easily folded. That you can have at least base layer padding. You know what I mean?
Stack them up, pull them in, pull them out.
But getting that location, it varies to everybody individually, and it requires some research on the person in that area. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, you're just looking for an opportunity. You know what I mean? It's nothing crazy. Don't make it more challenging than it is. Hey, I teach martial arts class, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for a place to teach. Do you have any opportunities, time slots? If so, how much money, blah, blah, blah. Would you be working an arrangement on students, blah, blah, blah. It can be very creative, and it's going to vary based upon the individual. But I think the hardest time people have is just like, making that first connection, taking that first step to like, hey, I want to teach martial arts somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like but you got to actually get out there and start doing it.
You got you got to hit the pavement, man. You got to.
And be willing to, like, you know, some people I think get caught up in like, oh, I need to make money now off it, or blah blah blah. I'm like, man, it's like you're just looking to cover your expenses, right? If you could cover your rent, you can cover your insurance. You know, if you need insurance, a lot of those martial arts schools you don't really need it. They can kind of tack on to theirs. Mm-hmm. Or you need to, cover your association fees or whatever. You know, that's all you're looking to do in the beginning. If you can break even, man, that's cool. Now you're teaching and training and learning for free.
Yeah.
Wow,
you can't beat that.
You can't beat that. You know what I mean? And again, that's a great goal. And have guys to train with and learn. You know, that's a win. Mm-hmm. And that's how to start. In the beginning, that's all I wanted to do.
If you're really passionate about it and you're fulfilling that passion, then the rest of the stuff is cake.
Yeah, and because then it just grows. The passion's the key. You know. So locations obviously does vary individually, and when we do have people sign up with us in the TriTac instructor program, we talk a lot about that, about how actually get their locations going, and the smart steps in doing that. You know, for people who are doing the BJJ, similar type of concept, but a lot of guys are doing BJJ and finally taking that time to have black belts and now looking to teach. It's much easier to find a location because they're in demand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just kind of different about the being a BJJ black belt.
In hindsight, I think I would say for new guys starting, first thing, go to a martial arts school because that's already in that same category. Unless it's someplace that's like
really
super busy,
you
got they probably have at some point some downtime or some slot that's open on an evening, and it might not be. I've got people call me and I'm like, yeah, you can come in, but we're there till 8:30 tonight. So you want to have class at 8:30? Hey, that's fine. You can come right in and use the space. I don't care.
I used to do that. Now not anymore. I filled all the slots, but people call up like, yeah, I have some time available, but no one really showed up out of it.
Most of my slots are later, so we do. Felipe will do some privates or something later at night. Stuff like that. Saturday afternoon, Sundays. I mean, usually most martial arts schools are done by noon on Saturday.
Yep.
A lot of them don't have anything going on Sunday.
1 day a week in the beginning, and that's all you're really looking for. A small start. Start small and grow. Yeah. So I think that's let's conclude it right there. Anything to add? Any tips, suggestions to help the new people out? Talk to yourself 20 years ago. Hey, buddy, wish you did this.
I would say just don't be down on yourself. Like when we're talking about locations, you're gonna get no, yes. You just gotta, somebody says no, all right, no problem. I'll call someplace else. I'll call someplace else.
It's not personal.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep.
I can't believe there's not one person, one area. I just don't believe it. I believe I could make a phone call within a day. You could probably find an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, I think I could have something. Within a day.
Yeah. So
it's pretty easy to find something.
Yeah, great. I like the whole idea. Yeah, you gotta keep at it. You gotta keep pursuing. It is not going to be. We said it earlier. It's not an easy process. But it makes it worthwhile because it's not. You know what I mean? To actually get somewhere, just like in martial arts, it's not an easy process going through it. Okay. But when you get to a certain level, it's fucking worth it. Same thing with business. Starting a business is like it's not an easy process. Being an entrepreneur is tough. Running a martial arts school is tough, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Best fucking job in the world.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad those people talked me into it.
Yeah.
All those years ago, I remember the one guy who really pushed me into it happens to be one person that I ended up hating most in my life because he was just an absolute idiot. But he's like, oh man, it's you can do this. He goes, you can do this better than your sensei. And I was just like, what, really? And he was the one that really pushed me over that edge. So as much as I'm not mentioning his name, as much as I hate you, thank you very much.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. Oos.
You know who you are.